The stars of the Helion system burned quietly, their light falling over a massive battlefield that stretched for thousands of miles across space. Hundreds of alien warships floated in formation, their weapons glowing and ready to fire. The great Helion Dominion and the Varric Empire were fighting for control of this sector, a war that had lasted for more than 50 years. Every creature in the galaxy had grown used to war, to blood, to endless noise. But today something changed without warning. The sensors of both fleets began to flicker. Strange static filled the airwaves, and the communication screens went black. Commanders shouted for updates, engineers ran to control stations, but no one could explain what was happening. The energy fields around the fleets began to distort, like ripples spreading through water, and then the radar showed a single dot, small, steady, and coming closer. At first they thought it was a glitch, a ghost reading caused by interference, but the dot kept moving, slow and unstoppable. Soon, visual confirmation came through. A dark shape was descending from hyperspace, wrapped in a burning aura of blue and gold. When it came into focus, the crews froze in disbelief. It was a human warship. For most of the galaxy, humanity was a myth, a story told to scare children or inspire soldiers. They were said to be the ancient race that once ruled the stars, then vanished after destroying themselves. The Dominion's admiral laughed, saying, "It must be a relic, a dead ship drifting through time." But his laughter died when the ship's lights came alive, glowing like the eyes of a god awakening from sleep. The vessel was enormous, black metal with sharp lines and scars of ancient battles. Its name was carved across the hull, HSS Invictus, the last known human warship. No one had seen such technology for 10,000 years. Even the oldest records of the Galactic archives spoke of it in whispers. The ship that once turned entire fleets to dust and then disappeared without a trace. The alien commanders ordered their ships to target it. They didn't want to take risks, not with something so strange, but before they could fire, a voice echoed across every channel in every language. "Attention, unidentified fleets," it said, calm and powerful. "You have entered restricted human space." The words sent chills down every spine. No one had heard a human voice in 1,000 generations. The Dominion admiral shouted, "Identify yourself." The voice replied, "Designation HSS Invictus. Vanguard of humanity, last guardian of soul." The silence that followed was heavy and cold. Even the stars seemed to dim for the first time in centuries. Alien soldiers felt something they had forgotten: fear. The Varric general tried to speak, but his voice shook. He ordered his ships to fire. Thousands of plasma rounds and ion torpedoes lit up the void. For a few moments it looked like the human ship was swallowed by light. Then the light cleared. The Invictus still stood untouched, its surface shining with a golden shield that rippled like liquid fire. Every alien in the sector stopped breathing. Inside the Invictus, an artificial intelligence awakened. Its systems came online one by one. It scanned the battlefield, its voice calm and ancient. "Status confirmed," it said. "Non-human fleets detected. Initiating defensive protocol." The ship's main cannon moved slowly, like a sleeping beast raising its head. Then a beam of white energy tore through space. Silent but unstoppable, one alien battleship vanished in an instant. The others screamed and tried to retreat. But the Invictus didn't chase, it simply hovered there, shining like a second sun. The AI spoke again. "You were warned." Its tone wasn't angry, it was disappointed. And that made it even more terrifying. From every corner of the battlefield, messages poured in. "Who are you? What do you want? Why are you here?" But the ship gave no answer. It only transmitted one last message before the signal cut off. A single sentence that made every commander's heart freeze. "Humanity sleeps no more." The fleets fell silent. The engines stopped, the weapons powered down. The battlefield that had burned for decades went still. Even the stars seemed to hold their breath, because somewhere deep inside every alien heart, they knew the stories were true, the humans were back, and nothing in the galaxy would ever be the same again. The battlefield remained frozen. Millions of alien soldiers watching through screens and viewports. No one dared to speak. The Invictus floated silently among the wreckage and drifting debris, its hull glowing faintly like a star wrapped in steel. For a long moment there was nothing but silence. Then the comm channels flickered alive again. A soft hum filled the air, followed by a voice calm, human, and ancient. "This is Commander Aaron Vale of the Human Vanguard," the voice said. "You are trespassing in restricted human territory." Every alien officer turned pale. That name, Aaron Vale, was from legend, a hero from the old Earth Wars. He was said to have commanded the last fleet of humanity before the final silence. But that was over 10,000 years ago. Impossible, they whispered, impossible. And yet his voice was real, echoing across every ship in the system. The Helian admiral, trying to hide his fear, spoke back, "Human vessel, humanity is extinct. Your kind vanished long ago." There was a pause, then came the reply, calm but heavy with emotion. "Extinct?" Aaron said, "No, Admiral, we evolved." The words carried a quiet thunder. Every alien commander leaned forward, unable to look away. The Invictus slowly turned, its engines glowing brighter, and the stars behind it bent under its power. Scanners went wild, trying to read the ship's systems. Every attempt failed. Its core energy output exceeded anything recorded in the last 50 millennia. It was like staring into the heart of a newborn sun. And then the voice returned, softer this time, almost humanly tired. "Why are you fighting here?" Aaron asked, "What has the galaxy become while we slept?" No one answered, because in truth, no one knew anymore. War had become habit. Killing had become politics, and peace was a word buried in history. The Dominion Admiral finally spoke, pride breaking through his fear. "You have no authority here, human," he shouted. "This is Dominion space." Aaron's voice turned cold. "The stars do not belong to empires," he said. "They belong to those who remember what it means to live." Then the Invictus released a low pulse. Invisible but felt by every mind within the system, sensors glitched, ships trembled. And even living beings felt a strange emotion, a flood of memories. For a few seconds, every alien on the battlefield saw flashes of Earth, oceans, forests, children laughing under blue skies, and they cried without knowing why. The Dominion Admiral screamed in confusion, "What are you doing to us?" Aaron answered, "Reminding you what you lost." The Invictus drifted forward, not attacking, not defending, only watching. Its massive structure blocked out the sun, casting a shadow over thousands of ships. Within that shadow, every soldier felt small. Powerless. For the first time, they realized what humanity once was. Not monsters, not myths, but something far greater. Then suddenly, alarms filled the Varric flagship. Their systems had locked onto the Invictus automatically. Guided by fear, the Varric general shouted, "Fire all weapons!" And thousands of missiles flew through space, lighting the void like falling stars. But when they reached the human ship, every projectile froze mid-space. Time itself seemed to stop, and with a faint hum, the missiles turned around, floating harmlessly away. Aaron's voice spoke again, calm yet sharp. "We came in peace," he said, but peace was denied. Then the Invictus opened its lower hangars, revealing a massive rotating structure deep within its hull. Energy built around it, forming bright geometric lines. The battlefield turned white. For a heartbeat, every sensor went blind, and every ship lost power. When systems came back online, the alien fleets realized something terrifying. Their weapons were gone, melted away without explosion or trace. The Invictus had disarmed them completely, without a single shot of destruction, and the human voice whispered across the channels, "Humanity does not need to destroy to win." The words echoed like thunder inside their hearts. Silence followed once more. Then slowly, Aaron spoke again, almost softly. "We watched your wars from the dark," he said. "We saw you repeat our mistakes." The Invictus drifted closer to the dying sun, and its reflection painted it gold. "Perhaps it is time the galaxy remembered why humanity vanished," he continued. "And what we became instead." The communication ended. No one dared move, no one dared speak. Across the stars, news of the human warship spread faster than light. Governments panicked, scholars cried, prophets fell silent. Because the impossible had happened, humanity had spoken again, and the galaxy knew this was only the beginning. The Invictus moved through the blackness of space like a silent ghost. Its engines burned softly blue, leaving a trail of light that lingered like a memory. Inside, Commander Aaron Vale stood alone within a hall of holograms and shifting data. The ship's core was alive with whispers, voices from the past recorded long ago. Each voice belonged to someone he had once known, someone long gone. He had awakened in a galaxy that had forgotten his people. Now he felt both the duty and the pain of reminding them who humans once were. Yet beneath his calm voice, a human heart still beat within the machine. A heart that remembered love, loss, and the faces of those he could not save. The signal from the haven still echoed through the data streams. Faint, distant, but alive, Aaron focused on it. Running calculations through thousands of quantum threads, the coordinates led to a forbidden region of space, one the Galactic Council called the Silent Abyss. No ship that entered had ever returned. He knew the risk. But something in him refused to turn away. "This is where she was lost," he whispered. "This is where Alara died." The AI voice of the Invictus responded quietly. "Captain Alara Vale, status unknown." Aaron closed his eyes, if he could still call it that, and said, "Then let's find her." The ship entered the abyss. The stars vanished behind them, and a sea of dark energy surrounded the vessel. Static screamed through the systems, holograms flickered, and ghostly shapes appeared on the bridge. It was as if the past itself was trying to speak. Voices of lost crew echoed through the corridors. "Hold the line. Engage warp. Tell Earth we're still fighting." Aaron listened. And for a moment, he was back in the final battle of humanity. The ship's AI spoke again. "Emotional stability declining. Recommend rest." Aaron smiled sadly. "Machines don't rest," he said. "And I'm no longer human enough to sleep." Outside, something moved in the darkness, a signal pulse, mechanical. Steady, human. Aaron's heart leapt. "Lock on," he ordered. The sensors focused, and a shape emerged from the void. Another warship, ancient and damaged, half buried in a storm of energy. The name was barely visible on its broken hull. HSS Guardian. Alara's ship. Aaron stared at it, 1,000 memories rushing through his mind. He activated the communication array. "Guardian, this is the Invictus. Do you copy?" There was no response, only the crackling sound of old data corruption. He sent a repair drone swarm, their tiny lights illuminating the dead ship like fireflies around a fallen giant. As the drones worked, a voice suddenly broke through the static. Soft, familiar, and human. "Aaron." It said, "You found me." He froze. "Impossible," he whispered. "You were lost." The voice laughed weakly. "Not lost, brother, forgotten." It was Alara's voice. Faint and digital, trapped within the Guardian's core, the Invictus linked to the wreck, transferring power and data. Slowly, a hologram flickered to life on the bridge. A woman in a captain's uniform appeared, her eyes bright with recognition and sorrow. "I held the line," she said. "Just like you told me." Aaron moved closer, his voice breaking. "You shouldn't have fought alone," Alara smiled. "I never was alone. Our people were with me." For a moment, the bridge was filled with light, and through it, the ghostly forms of human soldiers appeared. Not real bodies, but memories. Fragments of souls preserved in data. They stood tall and silent. Watching their commander once more, Aaron looked around them, a tear of light falling from his digital eyes. "You did not die for nothing," he said. "I will make them remember you." Alara's image faded slowly. "Then remember this," she whispered. "The Council lies. Humanity was never destroyed. We were hidden." Aaron stepped back, stunned. "What do you mean?" he asked, but her image was already breaking apart. Her final words came through like a dying echo. "They kept us asleep, Aaron. They feared our return." The connection cut, and the Guardian went dark once more. Aaron stood silent, the truth crashing through his mind like a storm. The Galactic Council had not protected the galaxy from humans. They had imprisoned them. He looked toward the distant stars and said softly, "They will remember, sister, I swear it." The Invictus powered up, its hull burning bright with ancient symbols. The voice of the ship AI spoke. "New objective confirmed. Retrieve human archives." Aaron nodded, his tone cold and certain. "Set course for the Council core worlds." And as the ship vanished into the rift of light, the stars seemed to whisper in fear, because the last commander of humanity was no longer searching for peace. He was searching for truth. The Invictus emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the galactic core. Before it stretched a storm of golden light, swirling around the central worlds of the Council. Aaron Vale watched silently, his eyes reflecting the fire of 1,000 suns. He had learned the truth from Alara's final message. The Council had never destroyed humanity. They had hidden it, buried it, sealed it away beneath lies and silence. The AI spoke softly. "Coordinates of the human archive located." Aaron nodded. "Take us in." As the Invictus moved closer, waves of energy rippled across its hull. Hidden defense grids came online around the core. Thousands of alien warships appeared in formation, blocking the way. Each ship carried the insignia of the Galactic Council. Aaron knew this confrontation was inevitable. A voice came through the channel. Harsh and trembling, "Human vessel Invictus. You are ordered to stand down." Aaron's reply was calm. "You kept our kind asleep. You erased our name from history." The counselor on the other side spoke coldly. "We saved the galaxy from your destruction. We saved you from yourselves." Aaron's voice darkened. "No. You feared what you could never become." Before the fleets could react, the Invictus unleashed a wave of light. But it was not a weapon, it was a map, a projection of stars, revealing a single world hidden in the shadows of the core. Its name glowed faintly through the darkness, Eden 3, the lost refuge of humanity. The council ships fired, but their energy blasts curved away. The Invictus moved through the storm untouched, guided by something older than physics itself. The world of Eden 3 appeared before them. Covered in silver clouds and vast oceans, at first glance it looked dead. But Aaron felt the pulse beneath its surface. The ship descended through the clouds, lightning flashed across the sky, illuminating colossal towers buried beneath the earth. The readings confirmed it. Thousands of human life signs, deep in stasis chambers, preserved and waiting. Aaron's voice trembled for the first time in centuries. "They're still here," he whispered. "My people. My family." The Invictus landed in the middle of a vast valley filled with ancient technology. Machines built by human hands still humming softly, still obeying forgotten commands. As Aaron stepped out, the ground beneath him glowed with recognition. The system scanned his DNA signature. "Welcome home. Commander Aaron Vale," a mechanical voice said. "The preservation sequence is ready." Rows of transparent pods stretched for miles. Inside each one lay a human being. Men, women, children, peaceful, sleeping, untouched by time. Aaron walked between them slowly, his hands trembling as he touched the glass. "These are the ones they hid," he said quietly. "The last dreamers of Earth." He could see the nameplates: scientists, soldiers, poets, engineers. Every person who had built humanity's golden age was here, waiting to wake. The AI of the Invictus spoke from above. "Warning, multiple fleets approaching." The sky above Eden 3 darkened as the Council's ships surrounded the planet, their weapons locked on the valley. A message came through: "You cannot awaken them, human. The galaxy will fall into chaos." Aaron looked up at the burning clouds, his voice firm and steady. "The galaxy already lives in chaos. It just forgot to call it by its name." He placed his hand on the central control pillar. The ancient systems roared to life. A beam of light shot into the sky, tearing through the clouds. The sleeping humans began to stir, the pods glowing with warmth, and across the galaxy, every communication network echoed with a signal, the human anthem. Long forgotten, the sound reached every world, every starship, every being who had ever doubted the stories. The Council panicked, ordering their fleets to fire. But as the first shot descended toward the surface, the Invictus rose, intercepting it. The blast hit the warship directly, and for a moment the entire sky turned white. When the light faded, the Invictus still hovered above the ground, its armor glowing red-hot but unbroken. Aaron's voice echoed across the comms, cold and unshakable. "If you fear humanity's awakening, then fear is all you'll have left." The fleets retreated, unable to match the will of one ship and one commander. And as the first humans opened their eyes beneath the golden sun of Eden 3, Aaron looked to the heavens and whispered, "Welcome home." For the first time in 10,000 years, humanity had returned to its world, and the galaxy watched in silence, realizing the truth they had buried for centuries. The forgotten race had awakened, and their story was just beginning. The morning sky of Eden 3 burned gold as the sun rose over the sleeping valley. A gentle wind moved across the fields of light, carrying the sound of awakening. The first humans opened their eyes after 10,000 years, their lungs breathing the air of a world they had never seen. Some looked confused, others wept quietly, but all of them felt one truth deep within their souls. They were home. The Invictus hovered above the valley like a guardian angel, its surface scarred and glowing from battle, yet still shining with the pride of an ancient race. Commander Aaron Vale stood on the bridge, watching the awakening below. He had fulfilled his promise to his sister, to his people, to the ghosts of Earth who had whispered through time. Humanity was alive again. The ship's AI spoke softly. Preservation sequence complete. Over 7 million humans re-established. Aaron smiled faintly. Then history begins again, he said. Outside, the sky filled with light, not from weapons this time, but from thousands of ships approaching. The fleets of the Galactic Council had returned, forming a wall of steel around the planet. Their leaders demanded surrender, terrified of what would come next. Aaron opened a channel to the entire galaxy. Every screen, every comms tower, every star station displayed his face. He spoke slowly, his voice calm but unbreakable. For centuries you called us monsters, he said. You erased our name, our memory, our history. His eyes glowed faintly, his tone carrying the weight of generations. But we were never your enemies. We were your beginning. The galaxy listened in silence. Even the alien admirals lowered their heads, unable to meet his gaze. Aaron continued. You feared our strength because you never understood our mercy. He pointed toward the human valley below. These people slept not to conquer, but to protect life until the galaxy was ready for peace. The Invictus activated a massive projection. Images of ancient Earth filled the skies above every world. Forests, oceans, cities, laughter, music. Billions of aliens watched as the true story unfolded. The story of a species that had fought, fallen, and chosen to sleep rather than destroy. And for the first time in thousands of years, the galaxy saw humanity not as gods or demons, but as creators, dreamers, and guardians. The Council's flagship sent one final message, trembling with fear. What will you do now, Commander Vale? Aaron looked into the stars, his voice calm and clear. We will rebuild, he said, not empires. Not wars, only hope. Then he turned off the transmission. The Invictus dimmed its weapons and extended its shields around the planet, not as a wall but as a promise. The promise that no harm would ever reach Eden 3 again. Days turned into weeks, and the valley bloomed with life. Children ran beneath the same golden sun their ancestors once dreamed of. Humans and aliens began to meet, to speak, to learn from one another. The galaxy, once ruled by fear, now watched the rebirth of peace. Aaron stood on the surface of Eden 3 for the first time. He looked up at the sky and saw the Invictus orbiting above like a silent guardian. A soft voice echoed through the air. It was Alara's, recorded long ago. If humanity ever wakes again, remind them who they are. Aaron closed his eyes and whispered, I will. The wind moved gently through the valley, carrying the song of a new beginning, and across the stars, one message pulsed through every network, every ship, every world. 3 words glowing brighter than any weapon. Humanity stands victorious, not because they conquered, but because they endured, because they remembered, and because even in the deepest silence of the galaxy, the human spirit had never truly died.